Welcome back to another video. Today I'll be ranking all the melee plants in PvZ2. Let's start with establishing what I think makes a plant a melee plant. Melee plants are plants whose main gimmick is in short range attacks. Hence, I will not include plants with mostly range attacks like Crocodile. I will also not include plants like Tromper and Barbarian as I consider them to be instants. Sorry Toadstool fans. With that out of the way, here's the list of plants I will be discussing today as I will do this video in separate parts. The plants I'll be discussing today are Bok Choy, Snapdragon, Fat Beets, Celery Stalker, Cold Snapdragon, Wasabi Whip, Ghost Pepper, Jack-o'-lantern, Kiwi Beast, and Parsnip. Let's get started with the first melee plant you unlock in PvZ2, the Bok Choy. I am in love with this guy. Even though he's outclassed by other plants on this list, I just love him. Bok Choy is a plant that costs 150 sun at level 1, and when planted, he does nothing.
Bruh.
Okay, but what he actually does is start punching when a zombie gets about 1 tile close to him. Bok Choy has a relatively good DPS and can also attack behind himself. I would put him in A or B if it weren't for one thing: the silly little uppercut he does every time he kills a zombie. That alone is why he's my favourite plant, and I will be putting him much higher, not in S, but in his own tier. Is this ranking biased? Yes. Do I care? No. Next plant. The Snapdragon is next. He's also a 150 sun plant at level 1, but loses the ability to attack backwards like Bok Choy. Loser. What he does have is the ability to attack in 3 lanes instead of 1. Now the ability to attack backwards is actually really niche. So does that mean Snapdragon is better? No. He's actually worse in my opinion because of one thing. His attack speed is significantly slower. I actually liked using Snapdragon for a while until I realized that he attacks too slowly for my liking. However, his plant pool is pretty solid. Because of that, I think he should go in A tier. The next plant is Fat Beets, and wouldn't you know it? It also costs 150 sun at level 1. Yeah, I think that's starting to be a pattern. Okay, but what does it do? It attacks in the 3x3 area around it, similar to Gloomshroom in the first game. However, it's worse than Gloomshroom since his attack speed is slow, similar to Snapdragon. Also, it's worse than Snapdragon because the attack range is 1 tile compared to Snapdragon, which is 2 tiles. And now, we are left with the choice of either being able to attack further or being able to attack backwards, in which I'll happily take attacking further away. Its damage output is also not great, which is why I'll put it in C tier. The next plant we will be discussing also comes from Neon Mixtape Tour, and that is the Celery Stalker. Costs 50 sun. Okay, the cycle is broken. And when planted, it hides in the ground, not being able to be eaten by the zombies. However, when a zombie walks past it, it sprouts up from the ground and does insane damage, being able to solo bucket hits. That would make me put it in S tier, however there's a problem. It cannot handle crowds as when it attacks. Most of the time it can only attack 1 zombie at a time, leaving it vulnerable to getting eaten. Not to mention the time it takes for it to go back into the ground is so long. However, it does have a health buff in comparison to other melee plants, which is why I'm gonna put it in low A tier. The next 2 plants we'll be discussing are variants of 2 plants we've already discussed: Cold Snapdragon and Wasabi Whip. Let's start with Cold Snapdragon. Cold Snapdragon is also a 150 sun melee plant. Yeah, we're back to the cycle. It acts basically like a Snapdragon except for one thing. It chills zombies it hits. Talk about power creep. Since chill is a pretty good status effect, Cold Snapdragon can comfortably go in S tier if it weren't for one thing. That being that it costs real money. Aww. I know, you can hack in premiums, but I'm a sad iPhone player, meaning I can't hack in premiums. Because of that, I'll put it in A tier instead. However, it will be higher than Celery Stalker. The next plant is Wasabi Whip. He is yet another 150 sun melee plant, but he is a better version of Bok Choy as it can heat up frozen plants and has a slightly bigger attack range. And that is why I'm gonna put him in his own tier under D tier. This is the thing he had just copying Bok Choy and pretend to be better than him, and the thing I'll put him higher. I don't think so. Get in your place, you piece of, before I put you even lower. Oh yeah. It's also a premium plant that costs real money. The next 2 plants are Halloween plants: Ghost Pepper and Jack-o'-lantern. So let's start with Ghost Pepper. Yes, I know I said no instance, but I don't care, it's my rules. Anyway, Ghost Pepper is a plant that costs 50 sun, and when the zombie or any great item gets close to her, she becomes spoopy. She scares the zombies, making them take damage. However, you don't need to worry about giving her protection because she cannot be eaten by the zombies. But after some time, she explodes, being able to kill basics with only the explosion. Also, she is one of the few plants like Rotobaga and Crocodile who are able to be placed on water. making her a very strong plant in Big Wave Beach. Reminder that she can do all of that at the low cost of 50 sun, which is why she'll be the first S tier of the video. The next plant is Jack-o'-lantern. He costs 225 sun, and when a zombie gets 3 tiles close, he will activate his blowtorch. This blowtorch does a lot of damage, killing bases within 2 to 3 seconds. However, the blowtorch runs out really fast, so Jack-o'-lantern isn't able to kill bucket hits on his own. He also costs real money to obtain, which is why he'll go in A tier just below Cold Snapdragon, because Cold Snapdragon is better in my opinion due to its ability to attack in 3 lanes. Next is Kiwi Beast. Kiwi Beast costs 175 sun, and when planted, it has the smallest attack range compared to any other melee plant, being a 1x1 area on the tile it is planted on. Sounds terrible, right? Of course. However, it also has high health, and when it takes enough damage, it will upgrade to the second stage, where it does damage in a 3x3 area. Once it takes even more damage, it'll grow to its final stage, dealing damage in a 5x5 area. Every time they upgrade, they'll also knock back zombies slightly. This guy will get a slight edge into B tier because it is simply just a better version of Fat Beats. The final plant we'll be discussing today is Parsnip. Once again, it's a plant that costs 150 sun, and when planted, when a zombie gets close, this radish will snip at the tile in front of it, dealing a lot of damage to every zombie in that tile. However, the fun part is when it gets eaten. It will pop out of the ground and scurry across the lawn, dealing even more damage, like a budget lawnmower. This would go higher, but it suffers the same problem as Cold Snapdragon, that being that it costs real money. And that is why he'll go in the top of B tier because he's a really decent plant, all things considered. And yeah, that's part 1 of my tier list on the PvZ2 melee plants. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.